president?
Sure, there's pressure, but it's coming from the public as much as it is from politicians. Look, Don, listening to polls, talking to friends around the country, it's clear the country hasn't panicked about Ebola, but people do want to know that the government has this under control, that the government is being decisive, that it's being strong. Would a travel ban solve that problem? No. But we already know that the existing system has allowed somebody to lie coming in, and he died, and he spread it. You know, and so the current system isn't foolproof. Sure, if you put in a travel ban, some people may escape, but there are one heck of a lot more people coming in on those planes openly that are going to sneak around the system. So I think most Americans look at this and say, well, let's try the travel ban. Maybe it will help. You know, and a strong majority would like to see that. But most of all, they would like a sense of confidence that the government is on top of this, that there's somebody running this who is the public voice of the government, telling them in a strong, calming way what is being done, how we're minimizing this. We're going to have some more deaths.
What you're talking about, David, is what many people call a czar, an Ebola czar.
Right.
The president spoke out about that. Listen.
It may make sense for us to have one person, in part just so that after this initial surge of activity, we can have a more regular process just to make sure that we're crossing all the T's and dotting all the I's going forward. Okay? So if I appoint somebody, I'll let you know.
So he said he's not, so he hasn't decided that. I thought that was a very good answer. I'll let you know as soon as I do it. But here's the question here. He said that that he believes that his officials, and security, health officials, were doing a great job. And many have, some, I shouldn't say many, some have said, well, this is a heck of a job Brownie moment. This is the Katrina moment. I mean, does it rise to that level, you think?
I think so, only in that there's well, no, I mean, just the inconsistency in what was told to us, starting with the President of the United States a few weeks ago. He said, it's highly unlikely you'll come to the U.S. Then it came to the U.S. And then it was like, oh, don't worry about it. And then the CDC director came out and said that protocols weren't in place. And then they said they were in place. I mean, there's been inconsistencies here that have led to a perception of ineptitude.
David, has he been inconsistent? Because, you know, it would seem to most level-headed people that it's unfair to compare the death of almost 2,000 people to one person who has died in the United States and 2 people who have tested positive so far. Has he been inconsistent, and is that fair, that comparison?
I don't think that's the most serious problem here. I think there have been some kind of inconsistencies. People have noticed that. I have worried a lot that Dr. Frieden, who runs the Center for Disease Control, who is regarded as an outstanding health commissioner in New York City under Mayor Bloomberg, and during the Bloomberg years with 2 health commissioners, as you well know, Don, they would argue that life expectancy in New York actually went up by 3 years on average. So he's got a good record coming into this. He has been, I think he's been caught short on a few things. What is missing, though, frankly here, Don, is we don't have a Surgeon General. We don't have a U.S. Surgeon General, because we had a terrific guy the president put up, Vivek Murthy, and he should have been confirmed, but the Republicans, you know, blocked that, and they, for whatever reason, they've not had a new nominee.
All right, David.
There. The Surgeon General should be taking the lead.
Yeah, Van Jones is dying to get in here. Van, it's true. That's where the politics in all of this are coming. There is no Surgeon General. Perhaps a person who can come out, even though the Surgeon General's role, he doesn't, you know, give the orders and say this is, but he can say, here's where we are on this. This is the protocol.
And much more importantly, he can be tasked. Now, I think it's very ironic. As you know, I was called a green job czar for the president. At that time, Republicans said the czars were terrible and we should not have any czars.
I believe you're bringing that up.
We don't like the czar thing.
So now suddenly he's being criticized for not having czars. I think that's ironic.
You're a TV czar, Van.
Exactly. But let me tell you why I think it's actually important. Everybody else who is involved right now has other responsibilities. There's nobody in the government right now whose only job is to deal with Ebola. We need someone. Well, if you had a Surgeon General, you could task him with that, or task her with that. The problem is that right now there's nobody in the government whose only job is to deal with this, and so I think there should be someone appointed. I think it's